My name is Gustavo Guimaraes. I come from Brazil. Brazil is a large country. It has 300 million people, and in this large territory you can find diverse cultures. I come from the northeastern part of Brazil, and in this part of Brazil we have our own type of food. We like to eat couscous, which is made of corn, and we can eat that with eggs and cheese or meat. It depends on who is eating and what this person is wanting to eat with couscous. We also are big on manioc, which is a root. I remember my mom cooking at night in a manioc and giving with us and putting butter on top. Fond memories of my childhood. Rice and beans is very common in Brazil. In that area of Brazil where I come from, we have like so many different kinds of beans. Not only the black beans, but also the fraldinho beans that we make with farofa, which is like fried flour, manioc flour with some spices.
And can you mention some ingredients that we have in Brazil or that you have specifically in your region that doesn't exist in any other part of the country?
I would say nowadays it's difficult because many foods that is from the region get known all over the country. I would say couscous is one of them. Tapioca, which is not the tapioca that you find in Asia, but it is manioc flour fried on a pan, and then you fill it with any ingredients you may want. You can put cheese or meat, even like seafood, shrimps. If I would choose, I would say that tapioca and couscous are endemic to that part of Brazil.
Yeah, and so you have also like some fruits that don't exist anywhere else, like such as cupuaçu and this small little one, I forgot the name, and you have some.
Yeah, in Brazil there is fruit, and it's a rich biodiversity, such as cupuaçu that comes from the Amazon region. Acai berry is endemic from Brazil, and unfortunately there are some fruits that are coming to extinction. For example, we have one fruit called pitanga, which is a red berry, small red berry that is sour to the taste, and I used to eat it often when I was a child, and nowadays, because of wide technological farming, mass production farming, pitanga is not a fruit that it's commercially viable, and it's coming to an extinction. It looks like it's within a decade or so it's going to disappear if we don't do anything about it, which makes me sad.
And what does food means for you?
Food is I think food is the emblem of my culture. It epitomizes the mixing of races that we have in Brazil, mixing of cultures. We have, it's pretty significant where I come from. You have like this African food staples, beans, and then you have indigenous staples like manioc, and then you mix them and you make unique flavors and foods, and then you have like the European style of cooking. So I would say food shows how a country, how rich culturally a country is, and in Brazil that is evident. You have all these different references, all these different symbols that come from other cultures.
Yeah, so if you would define food culture in your country, how would you do it? Thinking that food is it's a big part of your culture. Apparently, it's also involved in some like festivities. So you got like I don't know, celebrations that happen, and it's that are connected to certain kind of preparations. Or can you talk also a little bit about these spiritual foods and?
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah. As long as I can remember, food is connected to popular folklore in Brazil. We have Brazil has a history of Catholicism, so we have the saint days, and during the saint days we have some type of food. Saint John, during this the June festivities, we eat corn. There are days that are influenced by the African Brazilian religion called Candomblé, and there are some fruits that are eaten during this time, or animals sacrifices, and people eat from these offerings, religious offerings. And or Christmas, big meals that they celebrate together. Yeah, I would say whenever there is celebration and festivity, there is food in Brazilian houses, in Brazilian homes.
Very good. Do you have anything like else, like particularly to talk about that you would like to say? Do you think that is relevant, like to mention as, for example, acarajé originally is a spiritual food, was like and then it became so popular that even in Berlin we can find it, right? It became like a sort of street food, and
yeah.
Are the people becoming more spiritual, like on the streets?
I believe this is a manifestation of how culture can change over time, like how culture is fluid. You have one group of people that started one tradition, and then this tradition has an element like a food, such as acarajé, that it is used for spiritual purposes. But in itself, acarajé itself is delicious, that it blends into more mainstream culture, and then it becomes part of the mainstream culture. And we have There are other examples that doesn't come to my mind now, but this is why I love culture a lot, because culture is fluid, culture evolves and becomes something else over time.